didn't really deliver. Let's check Gemini next. Alright, I kind of see what Gemini is trying to do, but the aspect ratio is off and the animation isn't really smooth. Now let's look at Google Flow. Okay, Flow actually handled the multi-shot structure pretty well. The animation looks decent. Apart from Higgsfield, I'd say Flow is probably second best here. Now let's check Google Vids. Yeah, this one actually did a really good job. The animation looks nice, the colors are good, and everything just feels more polished. So at this point, I'm just going to download the best results. Then I'll go back and run my Chapter 2 prompt across all the models. And just keep repeating this until every chapter from my chatbot becomes a full video.
Now for the second output, we've got videos that look like these. First off, Higgsfield did really well again. I actually like how this one looks. It kind of feels like Higgsfield performs significantly better than the other models for this kind of video generation. The output just looks more polished, and I also like that it can generate voiceovers and sound effects, which is really cool. Now let's go back to Qwen. Alright, so it looks like Qwen tried to generate everything as one long sequence instead of splitting it into shots. It just keeps running everything into one continuous flow. At least the aspect ratio is a bit better this time, but overall, it's still not really usable. Just a slight improvement from before. Now this is what we got from Gemini, and it's okay. The aspect ratio is off, and the animation feels a bit slow. Then for Google Flow, this one actually looks pretty good. And Google Vids also came out solid. So at this point, I'm just going to keep repeating this whole process, turning all my images and chapter prompts into full videos. And I'll just keep downloading whatever model gives me the best output. Now, once you've got all your clips ready, the next thing you need is a nice, soothing background track. And one of the easiest places I usually recommend for this is YouTube Studio. So if you've got a YouTube channel, just head over to your channel page, then click into YouTube Studio. Once you're inside, go ahead and click on the audio library, and that'll take you to an interface that looks like this. Now over here, you've got a bunch of options, different genres, moods, artists, and track durations. Now, once you've got all your assets ready, the next thing you need is an editing software. And for this course, we're going to use CapCut, mainly because it's super beginner-friendly and really easy to work with. So once you've signed up, downloaded CapCut, and created your account, you should land on an interface that looks something like this. From there, just create a new project. Now what you want to do next is import the folder that has all your materials. What I usually do is just keep everything in one folder, my voiceover, my footage, and my background track, so everything stays organized. So just import that folder into CapCut. Once that's done, open the folder, and the first thing you want to do is drag your background track onto the timeline. Now here's the important part. Lower the volume a lot, around -17 decibels, so it doesn't overpower your voice or sound effects. Then just add a fade in and fade out, so it comes in smoothly and doesn't hit too harsh at the start or end. After that, just drag your voiceovers onto the timeline in the exact order you generated them. Then trim your background track so it matches the full length of your voiceover perfectly. Next, select both voiceovers, just hold Ctrl or Command on your keyboard and click them, and then increase the volume to around 6 or 7 decibels, so the voice is nice and loud and clear. Now once that's done, the next thing you want to do is drag your video clips onto the timeline in the exact order you generated them. Now you might notice something. The clips could end up being longer than the voiceover, and that's totally fine. All you've got to do now is start lining everything up so it matches the voiceover properly. So just go through, trim each clip, and adjust everything so it syncs with what the voice is saying. This part might take you maybe 10 to 20 minutes, depending on how fast you are and how comfortable you are with editing. So just take your time and make sure everything is properly adjusted. And the nice thing is, the multi-shot generation already did most of the hard work for us. So we don't really have to stress too much about syncing everything perfectly from scratch. Just listen to how the voiceover plays out and adjust each clip so it matches the narration. You just want to make sure your voiceover and animation are in sync, so everything flows properly. Once you're done,